All right, so let me see if I still know how to do this. Bear with me. I'm doing this by myself today, so there may be some mess ups. I'm doing this in one take, no cuts. If I mess up, I mess up. So here goes. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Scarfinger, and this is Scarcasm. I am by myself today. Everybody kind of had previous engagements and other things to do, so I figured I'd just turn on the microphone and I just kind of do this kind of old school. It's a little bit weird, I will say, to just be recording by myself. Typically I like to have somebody to kind of bounce off of a little bit, even if they don't talk that much, Chase, or Scott, or to a certain extent, Pimp, Sam, well, pretty much almost all of my co-hosts except for Sherry. Speaking of Sherry, shout out to all of the people who are downloading the episodes of Casual Conversation by the Digicast. Please go out and support the Digicast in their other ventures. I very much enjoy having them around, and it seems like y'all are enjoying it too, because some of their episodes are some of the most downloaded episodes that we have in a month. And we've had 2 pretty good months, for the last 2 months since we've added them. It's been really, really dope. The downloads have gone up, and I think it's really cool. I really do. So thank you all for doing that. So check them out on their separate feed, in the YouTube stuff and everything that's linked in the show notes for Casual Conversation by the Digicast. But, so it's like I said, it's going to be a little bit weird trying to do this thing by myself. I'm just going to get right into it. Like, I think life stuff is a little bit weird right now, because I'm still kind of dealing with some kind of health issues, and that's kind of changing everything for me in multiple aspects of my life. It's just getting to be is getting to be a problem in multiple areas, and I am really hoping that, with this very, very expensive doctor that I'm going to now, that we can come to some sort of resolution to get some of these things taken care of. Because, to be honest, I have just so much going on right now, and like the health issues are really getting in the way of a lot of things right now. Now, I am okay. I will say that. I'm all right. So, like, don't be like, oh, are you okay? And all this other stuff. I'm fine. It's just like the health issues are causing, some problems, in other aspects of my life. And there may be some changes coming soon, especially to, like the podcast, the painting, a lot of different things. There may be some changes coming soon, but the more I get closer to that, the more I will let y'all know. But, who knows? Like, I don't really know how everything is going to go right now, but I just figured I'd let you know. And, just in case, like, you start asking some questions, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of the art people are like, where the paint's at? I haven't been able to really get, a lot done lately. And like when I have done stuff, it's taken me a while to actually get the videos up and edited and, just up on YouTube, let alone like the Facebook page and the art section of the Discord. Like, all of that has been kind of neglected. It is 100% my fault. And, for that, I apologize, but there's just a lot going on. And hopefully things will not change that much, but they may change a lot. And if they end up changing a lot, like, I'll let you know, and we'll all just have to kind of go from there. Now, as far as the art stuff, like there's a lot of stuff that I want to do. The last few paintings that I've done, for the most part, I've done them for other people. Which is different because a lot of the paintings that I've done for myself. Other people have kind of liked them, and then eventually, there's a few people who have bought them, or there's a few that I've given away. There's just a lot of stuff, and to be honest, I still have a lot of them around here. Now, it's one of those things to where it's like I'm always wanting to do new stuff and I'm always wanting to improve. So like a lot of the older stuff gets pushed off and is kind of by the wayside a little bit. And it's kind of sucky because I do want to make sure that I put a lot of that stuff up so that people can see it, and if they want to, they can buy it. I'm never trying to like break anybody with that because my prices are really cheap, because most of it I do it for the love. I don't do it because I'm trying to get rich off of it. But so there's going to be more stuff coming soon, especially a special double piece that I'm going to be doing soon for some homies. And I'm not going to say much more than that because I probably will hold on to it until they are actually sent. And also shout out to my man Cam again, who won the contest. I made the 2 Black Panther color paintings for him. They have not been sent yet, so like him, they still coming. I finally got them in a box to be shipped out, but like I said, life stuff is just kind of in the way. And like, speaking of life stuff, the school year is getting ready to end. I am driving up to Baltimore on Thursday, to go to my daughter's, little 5th grade, graduation ceremony. And then I'm bringing her back with me. So I'm going to be full-time dad again. And those are always really interesting times, because I don't get to be full-time dad all the time. So like the first couple of weeks, I'm usually like kind of dragging a bit because it's just kind of like, I'm so tired. The idea of being a full-time dad is something that I can do. And once, after about the first couple of weeks, I'm used to it, but it's just one of those things to where it always kind of sneaks up on me, and I'm never quite fully prepared, especially for like the older Pooh Bear gets, the more sophisticated our conversations have gone, and like having to impart wisdom in different ways has really changed our relationship, and how we relate to each other. And I try to make sure that I'm open and honest with her, and about as much as I can be without going too far with it, for her age. But I try to make sure that, I guess I'm just trying to make sure that I'm a good dad. And that kind of thing is like one of those things that you just kind of like, you always know that you want to be a good dad, but there's so many times where you don't know if you're actually a good dad, until your child is in the wild, and is like actually using the things that you've taught them. That's how you know that, you succeeded as a father. And I know that because of my child. My child, she's a special child. But she's a lot like me, and like the more me she carries with her, the more I can understand and relate to her. And we relate to each other in that way. And that's really dope. But yeah, so I'm going to be a full-time dad again. Maybe there's going to be some videos recorded and uploaded, of us playing, different games, stuff that we're playing together, stuff that I'm kind of helping her get through. It's just kind of, I'm not going to say it's going to be a lot of stuff. I did have fun, with her, I think it was last year or maybe the year before. We played a series of Banished. and I really, really enjoyed that. So I kind of want to do more stuff like that. I don't necessarily want to do the whole thing where I just kind of bring her in on the podcast, because she always acts a little bit shy with the podcast, and I don't want her to feel that way. I want her to kind of be in her element and play something like Banished, where I can kind of explain it. So that means I'm doing most of the talking, so she doesn't have to feel like bombarded with the pressure of having to perform, even though I know she can. So like keep on a lookout for that. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know whether it's going back to my original YouTube feed or whether it's going to the Geeks Gone Raw feed, but I may end up putting it in both places. Who knows? But yeah, I know that during the summer, I kind of want to do some of that. I don't know how much of it's going to get done, but I want to do some. So I think it's probably a good idea to get into consumption. I do want to mention that I did buy a new TV. I bought a 4K TV, and I haven't been able to use it a lot. But I just finally got the TV up and ready to go. As of right now, I don't have a lot of 4K content because both my Xbox and my PlayStation are OGs. So that'll be, something that kind of comes with time. I don't know whether I would upgrade my consoles, because they're getting ready to come out with new consoles next year, supposedly. So I don't even know if I really want to do that right now, or do I just want to get the best out of the content that I have? But having another screen and also having another screen so close is probably going to be really good for me, so that I can do a lot of the, not necessarily the streaming stuff because my internet still sucks, but like being able to do some things with recording videos, and like I can play it on a larger screen so I can see it better, and all of that stuff will be actually pretty damn cool. I think so. So there's a few things that I've watched, and two of them I'm just gonna go through briefly because I don't necessarily watch them. They just happen to be on sometimes when I'm in the room. So like, I don't know like the full stories. I just kind of watch what's happening. Like my girl is watching TV or something like that, and these things just happen to be on, and I'll watch if I'm here type situation. I've been watching a decent amount of This Is Us. And This Is Us is a very well crafted show. Like, it is really stinking good. And I think recently I just watched the end of a season. I believe it was the end of season 3. I haven't watched every episode during season 3, but what I've watched, how they use the different time periods of these people's lives to tell stories is masterful storytelling. Like, absolutely masterful storytelling. And there's no other way to like really explain it. And I don't really want to spoil anything, but just the idea that it follows this group of people, but it follows them like when they're babies or toddlers. It follows them when they're little kids, and like when they're teenagers and get ready to graduate high school. When they're in their adult phase and now they have kids. Well, one of them kind of has kids. And also when they're much older. And all of these things are mixed together in how they use those different time periods. Because, some people are around in some stories, some people are not around because like there's times when they're adults, like some people live in California, some people live in like New Jersey and stuff like that. But how they can tell a story with the person living in New Jersey, but harken back to when they all lived in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania somewhere. like I said, I haven't watched the whole thing, but like how they use those things to tell a story, I think is really dope. I have only cried once, but that's only because I haven't watched it from the beginning. Like, I think I may, a lot of people say that they cry quite often with it, but I think it would be a little bit different for me if I watched it from the very beginning and I knew actually like 100% what was going on. I have watched some episodes, and this is just more, like less than This Is Us. There's sometimes when, my girl is watching The Good Doctor. The Good Doctor, I don't know very much about it at all, other than the fact that, it stars a gentleman who is, a doctor, but he's also autistic. And like the trials and tribulations that comes with, him dealing with, like everybody around him dealing with the fact that he's actually like a doctor, he's a competent doctor, but like he's also dealing with his autism. It seems interesting, but it's not really one of those things that I would be into personally. It just, is kind of interesting. So like if you may be interested in that, you might want to check that out. I know that, she's been watching that on Hulu, and I know Handmaid just came back out with the start of the new season. So at some point, I'm going to try to get on that Handmaid's Tale. Handmaid's Tale is really good, but it's really kind of bleak. And it's just not something that you want to watch a lot of at one time. It's like one of those things to where it's kind of like it's kind of like The Walking Dead. Like, The Walking Dead is really good when you're watching it on TV and like you have a week in between episodes. If you try to binge The Walking Dead, that does something to you. And like I tried to binge the comic books and it really did something to me. But, so it's something that I plan on taking my time with, when it's time to get to The Handmaid's Tale. And like on my own, I've been, kind of not on my own. My girl and I, they finally put all the DC TV onto Netflix. So I have started over the most recent season of The Flash. I was able to catch up with Legends of Tomorrow. And I will say this about Legends of Tomorrow. I really dig Legends of Tomorrow. But what happened with me is I got behind. And like the CW app only keeps the last 5 episodes. And I think I had it pushed aside for too long and I missed an episode and it got pushed out of that 5. So I was like, well, I might as well just wait till it's on Netflix to catch up. And that I did. I actually watched, basically I just kind of binged the rest of the season, which was about 7 episodes or so. And it's not on the level of Flash and Arrow. I know that. We know that. But I like the fun that they have, in that show and how everything is not like the kind of Arrows. It's not the Arrow serious and it's not Flash camp. It's just kind of silly. I guess you could say, is really just kind of silly. And I kind of dig the silliness of it because there's so much in like comic book movies and TV shows that's so serious all the time. We have to be serious right here. It was just like, no, we just gonna get in here. We just gonna have some fun. And, we're just gonna make ourselves the kind of show we want to be. And that part I really dig about it. So yeah. I have watched, Black Mirror just came out with some new episodes and they released 3 new episodes, I believe. And I have watched the first 2. The second episode I just watched, like not even an hour ago. So it's still kind of fresh, but I don't really want to do any spoilers, but I liked that episode. The second episode, it has something to do with a kidnapping. So I like that episode. I don't think I would rank it very high on my list of like Black Mirror episodes. And it was one of, outside of the very first episode of Black Mirror, it's the most contemporary of the episodes. Like, there's nothing in this episode that's like future tech or anything like that. It's just this is something that could happen right now. And I kind of dig that part about it, because like we've gone so far with things in certain episodes, and even with the first episode. Now, the first episode has a huge twist, and it's fucking weird. It's it's about a couple of buddies. They were roommates, and I think they were in college. They were roommates with the one guy played by Anthony Mackie. Like, it was him and his wife. I don't know if that was his wife at the time, and then they had another roommate with another gentleman, and they like to play a fighting game that's called Fighting Vipers or whatever, something like Striking Vipers or something like that. And they like to play that, when they were all roommates, and then it jumps forward years, and there's a new version that's a VR version, and they really get into it. And it covers that episode covers a wide range of issues that, like, I understand those issues. I before I watched them, my boss was telling me about it, and he said he watched them over a weekend, and he was like, when you watch that episode, let me know, because I'm kind of confused about it. And like, we had a pretty good talk about it after the fact. So that was interesting, because like I said, my boss and I come from two different worlds. Like, I'm a brother from Newport, downtown Newport News, like, and he's from New York. You know what I mean? Like, he's an old white dude from Syracuse. You know what I mean? Like, and like we don't, there's a lot that I understand about certain things, and there's a lot that he understands about certain things, and that always provides us with very good conversations and very good, it's just kind of like a meeting of the minds sometimes. And that's really kind of dope. I really dig the fact that, like, we can actually, like, on some level, kind of intellectually stimulate each other, because I don't think, for the most part, either of us are really that challenged, in our daily lives, really. I think for him, it's a situation to where it's like he's the boss, and like everyone is just kind of like, yes sir, and I'm just kind of like, what's going on, dog? Like, you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. Like, it's an agreeable relationship, but it's not a yes men type situation. So, so like we just kind of connect a little bit on certain levels, and I really kind of dig that about my job. I think it's really going to suck if I have to leave this job, which goes back into the life issues, but I can't really speak on too much of that right now. So, as far as like games that I've played, I played a little bit of Dauntless. Dauntless is a free-to-play game, where it's kind of, apparently it's been explained as like kind of a pared-down Monster Hunter. Like, all you do is you just go and you fight monsters. Like, you go into an area, there's a monster there, you kill it, you go back to the main area. I like it, but as a game, I hope that they add more to it, because just like go to this area, collect a couple of plants, and then fight this monster, that is going to get old really fast. And like, there's some times, like, I've been playing for the past few weeks, but it's like I will play it like one day a week, and then like, I don't even think about it again unless like somebody else is doing something. I just don't think about it at all. And you know, I wish there was more to it than just like, hey, buy the battle pass. Buy the battle pass so you have extra cool shit. I wish there was I don't know. I guess I just wish there was a little bit more to the game, other than just fighting one monster and calling it a day. Like if it was like a horde mode type situation where you fought like smaller versions of those things, and then like the big bad comes out, and then you have to deal with that. That might be cool. And you know, like you could, you know, leveling up and all of that kind of stuff. Like doing that. In a situation to where it's like you have to deal with not just like hacking and slashing at this one thing, would probably be a better situation for me. But and I don't know anything about Monster Hunter. I know it's available on the Game Pass, but I have watched someone new play a game called Academia. What's the full title? Is Academia School Simulator. It's basically Prison Architect with a school. Y'all know I really dig Prison Architect, and I watched someone play it. I started playing on my own, but I haven't gotten very far. It's a similar looking game. I believe that one of the lead designers for Prison Architect actually works for the people that make Academia, and so they look very similar to each other, like super similar, but they don't play the same because like one's you're dealing with the prison and the other one you're dealing with the school, which some people will liken those two things together, but these two games are not the same. And like I hope. You know, I hope to have more time to sit down and play more of it. And maybe that might be one of the things that I play with Pooh Bear. Because it's I think that I'm pretty sure that Pooh Bear can handle Prison Architect because there's nothing like too overboard other than like if you leave them alone, sometimes they might kill each other. But I think this will be actually kind of cool as something to play with her once I actually get in and really learn how to play. Because I think probably the biggest problem with Academia right now is how the money works. The way the money works is just like, you never seem to have enough money to do anything. Everything costs so much, and sometimes you just gotta let a school year run out just so you'll have enough money to actually do something for your next school year. So I hope that they make some tweaks and changes to that, to make the game more enjoyable, or just have a fucking sandbox mode and just let me build what I want to build. I think that might be where I really get my start in, like learn how to do all of those things and then go back to it with the limited resources and say, okay, now I understand how to do this because I did it with unlimited resources, like that type of thing. And I'm pretty sure they have a sandbox mode. I just, I haven't gotten there yet. I did watch, someone, fumble through trying to learn how to play RimWorld. And that made me want to play some RimWorld on my own. The RimWorld is a very complicated game because you have a lot of things that are going on. I really want to start a new series of RimWorld and kind of bring like kind of show people how to play, because there's a lot of people that hear about RimWorld in the PC sphere. A lot of people hear about RimWorld, and then they get into it and then they're just utterly confused about everything because there's just so much to it. You're managing resources, you're managing people, you have to fight to survive, and you have to, there's a lot of things you got to hunt, you have to manage not just like your people, but you have to kind of keep an eye on like who they are and what they do. And like, there's a lot of things there. So there's a whole lot to to unpack when you start playing a game like RimWorld. And I think for like the people that I've watched that are starting with a blank slate, they seem to be learning a lot more from the comments from people like me than they are actually learning playing the game, because the tutorial is kind of dreadful. It's like, it's not very comprehensive at all because it's just too much there. And there's no way that you can have a tutorial that's actually going to cover what you need to cover for a game like RimWorld. So I really would like to do a series on that. Hopefully I can get to that soon. I may do a thing where I record everything in batches, and then just kind of release the videos as they kind of happen. But that's like a little bit further down the line. I played a little bit of the Division, but like the whole thing with the raid just kind of turned me off a little bit to the Division, and I haven't been back much. Like, like Ace asked me to play. I play a little bit with Ace, play a little bit with my cuz, but like, there's even some things that I wanted to do in the game and try to get access to certain weapons and stuff like that. And like, when it came time to want to play, I'm just kind of like, I don't really care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, one of those things that like, I don't really care that strongly. So like, why would I even bother myself with this shit right now? Because it was all building up to this possible raid situation, and the raid turned out to be not something that I really cared about at all. Not one bit. So maybe I might get back into it. Maybe not. It's kind of the same thing that happens with all of these games for me. Once I kind of hit the end game, even though I stuck around a lot longer in the Division 2's end game than I have in any Destiny, any Division. I didn't play much of Anthem, so I can't really count that for anything. But I kind of stuck around with that because I had people to play with. But I probably would have been out a long time ago once I hit the end game for the Division 2. So I don't know how it's going to go in the future. Like, E3 just happened. So that was there. They talked a lot. They talked a good chunk of like what's coming for the Division. So maybe I'll be there for it. Maybe not. I did get turned off a little bit by the, whole idea that they added something to your map that you can only get off your map if you pay for the pass. I was under the impression that like for the first year, you didn't have to have the pass. And now for something shows up on your map and you go there, you waste your time going there. It's like, hey, you got the pass? You can access this if you got the pass. Like, fuck that. I'm not about that life. I think I got my money's worth out of Division 2. I don't know if they will get more from me. And I think that they should get more from me if I care to play it past some of the things that I don't think that I care about, like the raid. Like if I ever got to the point to where I cared about the raid, then maybe I might think about buying the pass. But as of right now, I don't really care about that kind of stuff. So I'm just kind of sitting here like, do I even want to keep playing this right now? And the last thing, I've been playing a little bit more of City Skylines. I have been playing on Xbox, even though I do have a PC version. I think I'm getting better at the game. I don't think there's very much more to report on that front. I'm just kind of like really trying to learn how to do this better. And, I've watched a lot of people play it on YouTube, and it's just when I sat down to try to figure this out, it just didn't really work for me. And it wasn't the game's fault. It was just like, I was watching these people do Let's Plays, but like you watch like a few episodes, you kind of forget what they did in the beginning to get everything started. My biggest hurdle was trying to get the initial stuff set up and to get it set up in a way to make it easier to expand, because expansion is necessary, for you to get what you need out of City Skylines. But I just didn't have that, for I didn't really have that because I just kind of went like with Prison Architect, I watched so many videos, and once I actually got a hold of it, I was like, yep, I understand what to do. With RimWorld, I watched a whole bunch of videos. Once I got the game, I was like, yep, I know what to do. For City Skylines, it was like, no, you don't really know nothing. So I'm just going to keep trying. Eventually that may work its way into something, but I don't know if it's actually going to do that at any point. I think City Skylines may be one of those things that's just for me. Who knows? But, and yeah, E3 happened. E3 this year has been, utterly forgettable. There has been some. I did watch the Microsoft press conference. I watched. I think I watched some of EA's. Like I watched the Star Wars stuff, and then I kind of came back on Madden and The Sims. I didn't really watch a lot of the middle stuff because it didn't concern me at all, and you know I wasn't interested at all. And I've just kind of looked at articles for the rest of it. I have not watched anything else. I think part of it for me was like I watched Microsoft's press conference, and then you watch Microsoft and you get really jazzed up to see how Sony is going to rebut them in every way, shape, or form, and Sony's just not there. So like it's one of those things to where you're just sitting there like, there's just like this gaping hole in the coverage of the show that is not being filled because they decided that it's not really worth their time to do all of the hoopla, which I agree. Like they don't really have to do much. They don't have to really do much at all. So I don't blame them, but it changed E3 for a lot of people, especially me, because I didn't have anything to compare it to. And I thought Microsoft had a pretty good showing. A lot of people are negative on Microsoft right now. But I thought they had a pretty good showing. They showed me things that I would like to play on my Xbox. So as long as I see things that I would like to play on my Xbox, that's cool with me. I ain't got to think about it no more. It ain't got to be heavier than that. It ain't got to be more than that. Are there things here that I would like to play on my Xbox? Yes. Do I even, I kind of wanted to see what Sony had to offer, but have I touched my PlayStation in months? Absolutely not. So, none of that even fucking matters in the long run. So, I don't know. I think, you know what? I think I'm kind of done talking. I kind of ran this whole thing just blabbing. And I think I actually pulled this off. Shout out to everybody, man. If you are listening to this episode, shout out to you, man. Pat yourself on the back. You made it. I know I made it to the end without my voice going all the way out. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but I definitely can feel it. That I've been talking way too much without really pausing and without taking a drink. So I can really feel it. I don't know if y'all can actually hear it. But shout out to yourselves for making it this far. Shout out to my co-hosts Chase and Sam, who had other obligations this week, so we didn't really get a show out. Chase flaked on me for the homie Rojas. I'm the only reason why I'm not mad is because it was the homie Rojas. You know what I'm saying? But Chase flaked on me. Sam had other engagements, and so we're just gonna try to get this thing done on Sunday. The normal day. We'll try to get it done Sunday, try to get it all back together, bring it back around, and give y'all more of this Scarcasm hotness. Like I said, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. The more things happen, the more I can actually let you know. Some of it's good. Some of it has the potential to go really bad for myself personally in the show somewhat. But the more I know about it and the more that is confirmed, I will let you know. And yeah, man, shout out to everybody. Shout out to the Digicast. And yeah, go out there and check out the Digicast, and check out the episodes that we have here, the casual conversation about the Digicast. And yeah, I think we're out of here. Everything is Everything is lovely at this point. Please don't send me no messages about you alright, dog. Like, nah, I'm good. So don't start. For real. Peace out to the Warriors, yo.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. I'm telling. All right, I ain't gonna talk.